All right, we're back recording. I just grabbed my glasses because I felt like I was going blind. But anyway, um, so why are we the weirdos for researching law? Um, I can't tell you, I can't speak for everyone, but I know that for me and my family, I know for a lot of us, we are the only ones, who are researching law. And you are made to feel like a fool for researching law. And so, the isolation is real. And, I know that it's a very lonely, path that you're embarking upon. And that's why it feels good to kind of connect with people in the groups and whatnot. So, don't feel like you are alone. You have a extended family, here with us, in the group. That's why we are more than, I'm hoping that, people start to see the group as more than just another Facebook group. I want this to be a real network. I want us to be a tribe, a nation, a family, to support each other. So we don't feel so, alone and out here and in this path of learning the truth, especially the beginners. We both have a special place in our heart for beginners because we too were beginners and feeling that pain of, isolation, from our families and from our friends and being looked at as the weirdo in the group, in our circle of influence. To find each other, to be encouraged, to just kind of know that you're not going to be out there alone being attacked. That is, that's a very powerful feeling. That's a very powerful feeling. So that's pretty much where I was coming from with that feeling. I know that I'm not the only one. That's why I had asked it recently in the group, or do you feel like you're the one, are people making you feel like you're the weird
I got a lot of responses.
Yeah, you saw that? It was
just,
because that's the sentiment. That's the sentiment. And I know that.
It's kind of heartbreaking to think that it comes to a point now where all we have is each other, because your mommy, your daddy, your uncle, your brother, your sister, everybody kind of thinks, wow, she's crazy. Am I? Or are you? I mean, I read. Maybe I'm onto something. It's possible. Maybe. How many things have you read? Nothing. So how am I the crazy? I don't know. It happens. But it's like you get into, you're in your little pack like of gazelles, and you guys are just grazing, and all of a sudden some lions come and everyone starts running, and you're running with them like, oh, what am I running for? Oh my God. And, the little gazelle gets out of line somehow, gets separated from the pack. And that was always the intent of the lion, was to get that one easy target so that they could pounce on him and have dinner for everybody. And that's kind of who we are now. When you get into that secluded state where people, you're with the pack, and then all of a sudden, when you're outside of the pack, they just keep running. They don't come back for you. They just, well, it's just one.
Yeah, they leave you to the wolves.
Sorry, little gazelle, just keep running, right?
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that there's other people.
Damn, right? You may get one of them to look back and use like, damn, that's a damn shame that he got caught. But
yeah, you might mourn him for a day or two. Just keep packing, keep going. Yeah, it's horrible. It is horrible. And I think that when you're very, very new, that is the bottom line feeling when you're telling your family, like, you're accusing me, or they're accusing me of all these things that are just, it sounds bad, but it's not true exactly, but it has like, a little bit of truth to it. Right. So you're feeling like am I the crazy one? Am I the one who's, did I do something wrong? Like, you start questioning yourself. It takes a little time though. Don't fret, my newbies, because it takes a little time to realize that it's not you. It's not you. And it is a deliberate gaslighting attack on you to make everyone believe that somehow they're correct and you're incorrect, and it's a projection and a deflection, and that's kind of what psychos do. That's, you know, it's not you. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you know who you are. Sometimes it is you.
Right.
We're not talking to you. This message isn't for you.
Right. But you know, people, when you newly come into this knowledge and you're wide awake and you're seeing the truth for what it is, it's shocking, and you're finally coming out of this cognitive dissonance that you experience. We all experience it. Like, it's shocking. It's
shell shock.
Yeah, you just don't know what to do with yourself. It's just like, my God, that's how long has this been going on? And then you feel a sense of powerlessness because you want to do something, and it seems so large, and you can't handle the sheer magnitude of the mass fraud and everything that's going on. So don't allow yourself to feel like you are in need of giving into the system. You don't have to.
It's steps too. It's a roller coaster. So at first you're bewildered and shell shocked, and then you're going to be angry, and then you're going to be depressed because you're like, wow, this is it. Oh my God, this is it. It's like, it doesn't happen overnight for you to just go through all this. It takes steps and time, and then eventually when you find yourself, and you realize that this is what it is, and this is how we got here, and all those things, you do reach a place that is more, what's the word, empowering. So it does come, but hang in there. You will get there. It does take some time, and I promise you guys that if you stay on course, you're gonna feel better about whatever you might be feeling today. Not that you're gonna be happy with the situation, but you do grow an internal strength and a confidence that you didn't have prior to dealing with all of this. Do you feel that way?
Yeah.
You feel like you have more of an internal confidence than before?
Yeah. But that didn't happen overnight. It takes time, and it came in waves. You know what I mean? I just had to continue studying, and that's the only way that I started to feel confident and empowered. When my knowledge base grew, I felt stronger. I felt more powerful in knowing who I am and all of that. But that came in time, and just by sticking it out and just studying, and I just kept studying, and I just kept digging for the truth and finding remedies and solutions. That's how you empower yourself, and that's how you become confident.
And did you go through a phase, like I went through a phase where I felt guilty. I felt guilty that I had not seen it before. I felt guilty that, wow, this has been going on to other people before I got involved, that I never saw, heard, or recognized even existed. And I even went through a little bit of guilt because I'm like, how did I stay so blind? It makes me think of Germany and the Nazis. The Germans will tell you all day long that they have no idea. And then other people will judge them by saying, well, you had to have known they were slaughtering these people in these places. Like, you had to have known. And the answer is they did not know, because the system was the same. It was exactly this way. It only affects a small percentage of people so that it goes unseen. And, in the Nazi, the chambers, the gas chambers that they put the Jews in, what they don't tell you on TV is that these things were in the middle of the woods. They weren't sitting in the middle of the city. They were somewhere in a forest, and you had to get like under a tunnel, and you had to, take this trail. And then when you would get there, the actual chamber where they gassed them, it said bathroom on it. That wasn't because it was the bathroom. It was because they wanted to cover up what they were really doing. So that guilt did resonate with me, and that's what I associate it to. It's like, wow, to say that what happened in that time period is like, wow, this is kind of happening again. It's sad. It's just
very sad, and I did feel a great sense of guilt coming through, learning and empowering myself through education. But the way that I was able to reconcile with that guilt was knowing or realizing that these people are monsters. They're really good at and operating at a very high level of indoctrination.
They have a lot of practice that makes them professionals.
Right. Experts, PhD level monsters, right?
And they learn from experts who've got more practice. So they have a leg up. They're way ahead, advanced in the race. So you cannot diminish your own self based on what they're advanced in. They're advanced in it because we didn't have that same education.
Exactly. It's like, you know, putting a 50-pound prize fighter, a bull, in a cage with a chicken, or vice versa. It's not equally matched. We can't compare to that level of practice and planning and strategizing, and the indoctrination is intentional. So we were not meant to see it. And so they knew what they were doing. So we were just completely ill prepared for it because we didn't see it coming. We didn't know it existed. So when you first start to come through the light and start to see things for the reality of what it is, that's how I was able to reconcile. I know that it was just not humanly possible to see all of this because it was well intentioned, it was well hidden, and it was, you know, purposely designed to keep it, you know, done in the dark, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's just we are the weirdos, and I'm proud to claim that title. If, you know, whatever it means to other people, if it makes me strange to want to learn the law and learn how to make it work in my favor, well then have at it. It doesn't bother me. But just know that, you know, you're not alone in this feeling. You're not alone in this journey on this path. We have to you know, continue on and just have faith and just study together and support each other, show each other that compassion, you know, at whatever.
Let's define support.
Well, support in terms of, you know, moral support, you know, just, you know, by not demeaning each other and things like that, and definitely, you know, engaging with each other in the group in a positive manner, you know, all of that good stuff. So, we are the weirdos, I guess, in this generation, because we are fighting for the truth, and, you know, these people are literally allergic to the truth. They treat the truth as tyranny.
It's like wearing a garlic necklace.
Or the scarlet letter. You're telling the truth. We don't want any of that in here.
You can't handle the truth.
Can't handle the truth. So guys, it is what it is. You're gonna feel strange when you're trying to explain to people what you're doing, or what you're studying, and why you are taking certain positions in terms of your responses to, you know, presentations, you know, presentments that come to you, you know, inviting you to certain public venues, and you know, and you handle it.
I struggle with that. It's hard to find a common ground when you're in a public setting and you're with people who talk about things like football and PTA meetings. And then they start talking about, oh yeah, I gotta go get my kid this new vaccine next week. And you're like, you can't say anything. You have to just
it's hard
bite your tongue. It's like, it's a struggle. It's hard.
Yeah, being woke AF is it's a struggle on a whole different level, because it's almost like you're living in a duality. Like, do I say this or
upside down?
Yeah, because I've learned to just bite my tongue, and that was
I'm so boisterous. It's hard for me.
That is very.
Could you imagine me in a group, girl? All the talking I do. I mean, people are probably like, "Oh God, get her out of here."
No, but for you, for us, it's we want to help, right? You have this you know, knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
You say, no, you're going down the right, you know, you're falling into a trap. but people don't want to hear it. So it's like, how do you balance that desire to help and expose the truth with people who are just, like looking at you like you got the doggone bubonic plague? How do you balance that? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, by learning how to articulate it in a way that is in the language of the common man. I mean, that's what they do. It's the same thing. So that's where I come in. That's where I have focused my studies. And see, like, I didn't learn a lot in law. I haven't really studied a whole bunch of laws. That's not what I've done. Right. I've learned how to communicate efficiently. I've learned I
keep telling you, that's your superpower. You have the gift of explaining things, to the very beginner to the advanced, that both extremes can appreciate it. I'll tell you, I told her off camera, if I had someone explaining things to me and breaking it down and unpacking it the way that she does, I would have been further along than I am now in terms of my knowledge base and my sense of confidence and my sense of achievement, because that's just her superpower. She has that, that gift, that what do they call it? Gift of tongues. I don't even know.
Gift of gab.
Gift of gab. Yeah, gift of gab. Yeah. But you explain things so well. I'm able to explain it. I mean, I'm able to understand it and receive it. So, although it does help to know certain things too, like.
Well, it comes together. You have to piece it together. It's got. That's why it's a struggle even for me when I'm trying to tell people, because I need to tell you from the beginning, but I need to tell you the end. It's weird, you have to figure out how to deliver in a way that is for everybody and not just for one group. Because if I was talking to a group that I thought was advanced in their studies, I'd be talking a completely different way.
Right.
But I realize that there's people who are new or newer, so I try to keep it at that level so that all parties can understand.
Can appreciate it, absolutely.
Right, and it's not easy to do, but it's I think it's important, because as we do feel this way, I to give you guys hope, since I've learned how to articulate myself the way that I do, I can in fact hold conversations with sheeples who don't know about this, and I do get good reactions. So they can be reached, okay? It's just that we're not delivering the message appropriately. They can be reached.
Yeah, you can't.
I do it all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just cannot.
Especially young people. Young people really listen. It's pretty cool. Like anybody in their 20s, they want to hear what we have to say. It's just about learning how to articulate it so that they get it,
Yeah.
Yeah. I might be the weirdo, and maybe when I leave, they're laughing and saying I'm weird or whatever, but I promise you that whatever experiences they may have in the future, at some point, they're going to circle back to what I told them and be like, oh, that girl wasn't that crazy.
Yeah. Because they'll see it and they'll be able to relate to it in some ways, right. From an experience that they're going through, or someone that they know is going through. So, you just can't bash them over the head with the facts and the truth that's, that's in direct opposition to what they have been, led to believe all of their lives. I mean, just imagine when you first came into this knowledge. Just try to have compassion for, the new.
That was rough. I guess that's why I have a place for new people in my heart, because that beginning, I remember my head feeling like it was going to implode. I remember feeling heavy and just bogged down, exhausted, beat up, dragged through the mud. I don't wish that upon anybody. And I feel horrible. I know that there are people out there that are going through that right now.
Yeah. So
it sucks.
Just know that. But the resounding truth is that, you're not alone. There is a growing movement, with people who are waking up to the truth, and we're finding each other, through, thank goodness for social media. It's a technology that you need to use, but don't let it use you, right? Use it. Don't let the technology use you. So just basically
important message.
Like for real.
Important public announcement.
Because I see that too. I see that too. So just, people get sucked in into a bunch of different groups.
Yeah.
And then they, before they know it, they are all over the map and getting, you know, bad information or opposing information, and then they're getting cussed out and just into and they look like somebody completely different than when they started out. So don't let the technology use you. You use the technology, and that's what we're doing. If I had my way in the perfect world, I wouldn't even be on social media.
No, I wasn't until we started doing this myself. Like, I had no idea how to really use all the Facebook stuff. I still don't. And the YouTube stuff, this is all new to me. I'm struggling with it because I didn't do this. This wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
So learning curve, unfortunately.
Right. But the only reason why I'm doing it, even despite the fact that I don't want to be on social media, is because that's, you know, where the people are. Right. That's where we are. That's where we can connect and network, and, you know, how we can kind of try to stay together as much as possible to create, you know, that nation, you know, of members in our tribe. We have to stick together because there's strength in numbers, right? There's strength in numbers so that, you know, we can overcome this madness that exists today. And I know that one day we'll overcome, but we need the numbers, and there's strength in numbers. So that's how we communicate with each other. So we have to be on Facebook for now. We have to be on YouTube for now. But eventually, you know, guys, make sure that when you first join the group, the free Facebook group, I put all the links in the description box as per usual. But make sure when you first join, as a matter of fact, I'm putting up a new Facebook group profile banner that encourages you to double click. Because I'm just learning that you could double click that thing. I didn't even know you could double click that. So,
oh my God, we are just a mess.
I had to take a class to learn how to operate the whole Facebook group thing because
newbies, just do it. Just take the time to learn it. Yeah, so it sucks. Just
we're putting out good information. You're amongst like-minded people who care about what happens to their families, cares about what happens to you and all of us, you know, across this great nation. We want to be together so we can support each other and keep each other lifted up, because this stuff is, you know, it can really pull you down.
It's a challenge all by itself. Really.
All by itself. So it's just good to know to be in good company with like-minded people. So that's all we have. Any final words? I just wanted to.
No, just learn, you know, watch our videos, learn the art of articulation. Learn it. Learn it. It's your best friend. You're not going to be able to deliver anything anyone gives you, whether it's paperwork or otherwise, if you can't articulate it.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, friends. Sorry. Love you.
And in order to articulate it, you have to really understand it to the point where that thing is a part of your soul, becomes second nature. And that's only going to happen by repetition. Just read and reread and reread. Okay? So anyway, that's it. I think we beat that dead horse. I hope that the message is loud and clear. Love and compassion for others. And that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.